Hey, hi guys, this is Luis speaking. This is Luis from Nice Pips speaking. We had a webinar and we had the technical issues. I was supposed to send the video. Okay, fine, I didn't manage to send the video. The video had the technical issues with sound and sound projection and transmission. So I'm sure we are good to go. We are set and we can look at basically what we discussed yesterday. So from what we discussed yesterday, I was okay. We are no longer discussing it yesterday. We are now talking about it right now. So we are looking at the movement of volatility as it nowadays. As you can see, my charts are naked, meaning to say I'm going to be using pure price action to analyze V75 with the knowledge of support, resistance, and candlestick patterns. Meaning to say, you are supposed to be aware of the candlestick patterns, and you are supposed to be aware of the proper zones of support and resistance. I'm speaking of the areas of value. The areas of value. What are areas of value? Areas of value are areas where the price conducts a certain style of behavior. If it's support area, it's an area where the prices bounce at a lower level multiple times, basically twice or thrice, that is 3 times. Now, let us look at how V75 can be analyzed quickly. Then we can see the changes that we are having from the last setups to the present setups that we are now having in 2020. So the first thing I want to talk about is concerning the changes in movement of V75. Look, from our past trading period sessions, we could have something like this. Pardon the color. Let me use white. We use red. Cool. We could have something like this. Then we could expect this to be our TP. This is how we used to trade. This was according to our strategy. Our entry would be somewhere here, because here our moving averages. How would our moving averages look like? We were gonna have our 13 period moving average rolling somewhere here like this, and we could have our five period moving average somewhere here. Here we're going to have a cross. Here we're going to have a cross. We're going to have a cross. Now, so not really. Looking at crossing. Then we're looking at crossing. So our entry would be at this cross here, and we would enter at 1 minute. So basically, the strategy is working perfectly fine. But then it is somehow manipulated. It's no longer going where it's supposed to be going. It's no longer it's no longer going where it's supposed to go, where we knew from our last trading periods that we knew that, okay, our take profit point would be somewhere around the 200 period moving average. Instead, it's now following the W, but then it drops. It follows the W, then it drops. And this is not the only scenario. Let us look at the head and shoulder as well. Let us take a look at the head and shoulder. Yes, this is a good example of a head and shoulder. Let us look at the head and shoulder. We have this. Goes down. Goes up. Then it's not reaching where we are supposed to take our profit. Normally our take profit was somewhere around our 200 period moving average. Maybe say we were gonna TP somewhere here. TP, then expect a pullback from here for if it's continuous. Okay, fine. This is where we're gonna expect our pullback, but it's no longer happening like that. It's no longer happening in that way. So what are we doing? We are going to be analyzing V75 using pure price action, because this setup here, which we were normally using is a little bit manipulated, is a little bit not really manipulated, but there are some changes. In short, let me say there are some changes. So we are not going to stop trading because there are some changes, but we are simply going to adjust to the change. That's intelligence, the ability to adjust to the change. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to visit our 4-hour chart and see the daily movements. I'm going to take example of yesterday. This was yesterday's video. We had to draw our trend like this. I'm drawing my channel of support and resistance. I am going to draw my trend like this. This is on 4-hour chart, right? Remember, when you're drawing channels on 4-hour chart, you need to remember when you're drawing trend lines on 4-hour chart, you need to make sure that the lines are exactly on the wick, because a wick on a 4-hour candle can be a couple of candles on a 15-minute chart, right? So this is what we have at this moment. This is what we had in the morning. Okay, so after having our support and resistance, that is on our channel, and we have our support and resistance, we are looking at the areas of value. Areas of value are the areas in which prices had multiple bounces. Like, for example, this is a good area of value. I can see price bounced here 3 times. Remember, V75 respects zones. It has full respect for zones. It bounced here for the first time, bounced here for the second time. This is the first bounce, this is the second bounce, and this is the third bounce. Okay, that wasn't visible. The first bounce, the second bounce, the third bounce, and we expect more bounces. Why? Because this is an area of value. Whenever it gets to this point, it is bouncing, it is respecting that zone, So after doing that, now we have our channel. What are we looking at? We are looking at scalping. Most of the signals are scalping signals. So what are we looking at? We are looking at buying, support, and selling resistance. So we are talking of buying here, we are talking of selling here, we are talking of buying here, we are talking of selling here, we are talking of buying here. So you buy, you hold until you see the sell setup. You sell, you hold until you see the buy setup. So let me talk about setups, buy setups and sell setups quickly. Once we draw our channel on 4-hour or on daily, depending on how it's looking like, but the channel, the daily channel, or the channel that you're going to be following on a particular day should be exactly be confirmed by a higher time frame. Okay, now I am having my 4-hour channel. I can confirm it with 1 hour to make sure, just to make sure that the support and resistance, is valid. To make sure that the support and resistance is valid, it has to be confirmed by multiple time frames. Okay, to have a bigger perspective, I had to twist the screen a little bit. Now you are looking at it on a lower time frame. Now you have your channel drawn and you have your support areas drawn. It's an uptrend, so we are looking at buying opportunities in the long run, as well as selling opportunities as just a method of scalping. This is a valid area of value. This is a valid support and resistance. Why? Because it has been respected multiple times. It was respected here. In this zone, it was not respected because of the support area, which makes this support also valid. From this, it was respected again here, it was respected again here. And normally what confirms the support and resistance to be true is support turns out to be resistance after breakout. So this means that this support and resistance line is actually valid because it was support, then now it resists, then it breaks out, and so forth, right? So it confirms that the support and resistance is actually 2. So now after drawing your channel, you are now looking at your patterns now. Remember, V75 still follows the rules of trade. V75 still follows the rules of trade. The rule of trade number 1 for V75 is it moves in a straight line. Look, this is strictly bearish. There are no bullish signs here. Of course, there were some bullish signs when it got to this area of value, but at the same time, you were not gonna trade this area because it was the first bounce. So you're not having this line. So now let us look when it got to the area of value where we are looking at entering the market. The first area is here. First, we have our support. First, we have our support line here. We have our support line here, and we have our support line here, and we have our trend line here. So we are now talking of entering buying position. We are looking at taking buying positions here. Now let's look at the candlestick patterns. Where did it go? Okay, there we go. Let's zoom. When V75 moves in a straight line, to prove that the bearish movement is over, now we are looking at the bullish movement. V75 gives a bullish confirming candle. It gives a bullish confirming candle. Now, this is a straight line which shows that we are going bearish. The market is going down. Then from there, it gives us a bullish signal. Which bullish signal do I have here? If we take a look at this, if we take a look at this, we have this candle here. We have this candle here. This candle here is what we call this is the bullish insider, to show that bearish movement is over. Now the market is going up, and the market goes up again in a straight line. So you are holding it until you see selling confirmation. What selling confirmation do I have here? Here I only have pullback confirmation, but here I have selling confirmation. Let's look at the selling confirmation that I have. Confirmation number 1. Confirmation number 1 that we have here is the market is at resistance zone. It's at its resistance zone. That's confirmation number 1. Confirmation number 2, let's look at the candlestick patterns. We are looking at the bearish. We are now looking at the bearish candlestick pattern, meaning to say the straight line movement is over. The straight line movement from here up to, from the support to the resistance is over, and it confirmed with a shooting star. This is a shooting star. Yes, it confirmed with a shooting star. It drops, gave a retest. Now it goes back again to bearish in a straight line. Goes back to bearish in a straight line, and it gives a selling setup. You should be careful of breakouts. For example, here I do have a breakout, broke out, it retested, then it went down. But okay, remember, when you're trading, you are supposed to follow your trading plan. If it says you're holding from your support until your resistance, just hold from your support, resistance until your support, and exit the trade. Because if you want to go down, that's an example of becoming greedy. You just have to trail your stop loss. If you think, okay, fine, the setup still goes in my favor, and you could keep on holding. And this is an example of what I said earlier in the video. If we look at this, we see how our last period setup has been biased, but it did not go back to where it's supposed to go. Okay, but okay, we are no longer looking at it. We are now looking at a new way of trading V75. Your entries, you can take them on a 15-minute for greater confirmation. You can take them on a 15-minute for greater confirmation. But if you take them on 1 hour perspective, obviously you're going to have higher profits. So basically, this is what I spoke about in the video yesterday in the webinar. This is exactly a rough idea of what I was talking about. And I am also going to make another video concerning boom and crash new strategy, which is super easy for easy people. Boom and crash, how to kill the spikes. This is what we are going to talk about in the next video, that is earlier on or later on this week. We are going to talk about the strategy for boom and for crash, which is a very simple and easy to follow strategy. I'm out, guys. This is Louis from Nice Pips speaking.